I never told her I knew. Not that night when her phone lit up while she thought I was asleep. Not the next morning when she hummed her usual song, pouring coffee like nothing had shattered. Not even during the quiet evenings, her head resting against my chest, but her soul somewhere else entirely. I held it all inside, the truth, because silence, oddly enough, felt safer than her lies spoken aloud. It wasn't strength that kept me silent. It was damage, a kind of break that didn't bleed, but buried itself deep, without sound. My heart wasn't screaming, it was drowning, suffocated beneath the weight of pretending, of knowing and acting like I didn't. The truth came not as a confession, but a careless whisper on a glowing screen. One message, one slip. Last night was a mistake, but I can't stop thinking about you. It wasn't mine to read. It wasn't meant for me. But the moment I saw it, I knew. The name meant nothing, but the tone, everything. She had already crossed the line, and my world, in an instant, cracked in silence. I didn't confront her. My hands shook. My chest caved in, but my lips stayed shut. Because sometimes silence isn't weakness. It's a quiet surrender. Not to her, but to reality. She had already left me in every way that mattered. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually. The late-night distance. The hollow touches. The forced laughs. She was gone long before her footsteps ever reached the door. When she said she needed space to think, I simply nodded. Not because I agreed, but because I was too tired to beg someone to stay when the heart had already left. She walked out with a single bag. No hug. No real goodbye. And I stood there, frozen, like a ghost in my own home. Transparent. Fragile. Unseen. I didn't run after her. Didn't text. Didn't ask why. My silence became my shield. A quiet place I built to keep myself from shattering. Because when the one person you trusted chooses another, you stop asking why. You just learn to breathe around the pieces. So I rebuilt, not in triumph, but in fragments. In half-finished journals. In cold, untouched dinners. In lonely rain-soaked walks and sleepless ceilings. I survived her memory like invisible dust. Always there, never seen. Months went by. Seasons changed. I thought she had too. Until that one day. A crowded street festival, laughter, music, colors. I wasn't even fully present, lost in thought, when I heard it. My name. Soft. Unsure. But undeniable. Because when someone who once held your heart speaks your name, your soul listens, even when your heart has long stopped hoping. I turned. She stood just a few feet away. Hair tied up, eyes wide with disbelief. Her hands gripping her purse like it might steady her. She took a careful step. I didn't know if it was really you, she said. But I had to find out. I said nothing. Not because I had no words, but because everything I once wanted to scream no longer mattered. She looked down, then up again. I owe you more than an apology, she whispered. But I don't expect one moment to fix what I broke. Around us, the world carried on, kids laughing, music playing. But between us, time froze. Two people bound not by love anymore, but by the silence that followed it. I never stopped thinking about you, she said, voice trembling, even when I acted like I had. I wanted to reach out, but I didn't know if I deserved to. I looked at her, this woman who once was my everything, now standing unsure, stripped of pride, and I remembered it all. Her sleepy smiles, the way our fingers once intertwined, the vows whispered in the dark. But I also remembered the nights I cried alone, the hollow mornings, the ache of absence. You had the truth, I finally said. That should have been enough. Tears formed in her eyes, but she blinked them back. I made a mistake, she said, and I've regretted it every day since. I looked at her, not as the woman who broke me, but as the one who was breaking in front of me. This wasn't manipulation. This was real, raw, human, and for one moment, I felt it all. every lost dream, every heartbeat, every scar. But I also felt how far I had come. The road I walked alone, the strength I found in the quiet. "I forgive you," I said softly. She exhaled sharply, as if she hadn't breathed in months. "But I don't want to go back," I added. Her lip quivered. "I didn't come to ask you to. I just needed to know if I was still someone worth forgiving." And right there, I knew I was finally healed. Because forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from the chains they left behind. She nodded. One last tear slipped down her cheek. And she smiled. Not with hope, not with expectation, but with peace. "Thank you," she said. Then she turned. No hug, no promises, no parting words. Just closure. To anyone who's ever been quietly betrayed. You don't need to scream to be strong. You don't need to be heard to have worth. Sometimes, the greatest healing comes in silence, in choosing dignity over drama, grace over vengeance. And if they ever whisper your name again, don't let it anchor you. Let it remind you how far you've risen. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you'll ever say is nothing at all. Still,